What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing tonight? It is Thursday. We got May 17th. So, been doing the May 100, which is just about a little over halfway now. And what's up, Steve? So, we've been hitting it hard with the running. So, just sticking consistent with that 3.2 miles a day, trying to hit that 100 miles this month. I'm at 58 miles right now on the 17th. Feeling pretty good about it. I have a half marathon on Saturday, and I've only been training for 3 weeks. I took a couple months off, doing a lot of running and doing a lot of training, and I pretty much just picked back up on running and getting back after it just about 3 weeks ago. I just want to talk real quick about how I'm able to do that because so many people are like, okay, like I have this goal of training a half marathon and I either want to prepare for 6 months or I want to prepare for an entire year. And I don't really find I don't get why you would need that much time to prepare for something like that. So I just wanted to go over some of the simple things. What shoes are you? What shoes I'm wearing is I'm actually wearing the Hoka Ona Ona, the Gaviatos. And so I've got two pairs of those that I cycle through. So I never wear the same pair of shoe 2 days in a row, just so that foam can recompress out or decompress, and I can still have that nice, good cushion in that as well. But just want to go over about 8 things here real quick because my background's personal training, my background's fitness, my background is muscular nutrition. And so I just want to talk real quick about some of the things that I've been doing that have kind of like helped me prepare as far as getting through this last 3 weeks. And so, most people think that, again, like I was talking about, how you have to have these incredibly long training periods in order to accomplish these things. But if you think about it, a half marathon is only exercising for 2 hours. How many times have you gone to the gym and been able to exercise for 2 hours? I've done it for so many years. And although I've taken the last like 4 months off, my body's really adaptable and it gets back in it. It only takes a week really to get myself going. But number one, right? So pushing through the barrier and just not annihilating it, right? So you probably heard the phrase like train beyond the pain or remain the same or just crush it or smash it. Like that's good to like a certain extent, but you have to be smart, because like even as a personal trainer, anyone can take someone in the gym and kick their ass. That doesn't matter. That doesn't make you a good personal trainer. Anybody can go exhaust somebody, can make somebody sweat, but how smart you are about it, that is where people are going to get results. And so understanding your body and knowing when to push and when to train hard. So you have to listen to your body as well. And then being able to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. So when you're trying to push through those barriers, you have to you have to get uncomfortable. And if you're not getting uncomfortable, you're never going to have more success. You're never going to have a faster time for your mile. You're never going to be able to squat more or bench more. You have to put yourself in those situations that make you uncomfortable. So when you hear that phrase, like, you just got to crush it, you just got to smash it, or like train beyond the pain, that's only true to like a certain extent, because you still want to be smart because so many injuries come from people's egos. And so do not let your ego take over. The next one, number 2, is your pre-workout nutrition. That is important, right? So what are you doing for pre-workout nutrition? And I've played around with this for years. So, me, I used to weigh like 240 pounds. I used to be really into lifting weights and bodybuilding and stuff like that. And now I'm like 196 pounds and I do a lot more endurance stuff, cycle and run a lot more. Just because I enjoy that more. I've spent so many years in the gym just hitting weight, and I'm just kind of sick and tired of just like that same routine in the gym, chest day, leg day, hamstrings, quads, glutes, back, such and such. What's up, Preston? And so that's just kind of gotten old for me. And so I've really merged everything outside, and I love pushing myself. But my pre-workout nutrition is what's going to prepare me for everything that I'm doing. So I never want to load up on something heavy. And when I'm eating before a workout, I'm going to eat at least 2 hours before. It's going to be a really light meal. It's not going to be anything heavy. I've noticed for myself over the past maybe like year or two is the less that I eat, the better that I'm able to perform in my workouts. So with that being specific to like the endurance side of things. So when I have a heavy stomach or I'm loaded up with carbs or just a big protein meal or a piece of steak or something, that does not really help me as far as getting into my workout. So having something a little bit lighter like salads and veggies, some avocado oils or fruit or something of that nature. So those simple carbohydrates like fruit, or the fibrous carbohydrates like vegetables, those are where I'm going to benefit the most from for me personally for my workout. And so, and also taking any type of like amino acids or ketones of something of that nature is also going to prep me for that workout as well, just so that I have some fuel and some glycogen that's built up in my muscle tissue that I'm able to use and exert as energy. So if I'm loaded up on a lot of sugars and carbohydrates, I'm going to be a sugar burner, and I want to be a fat burner, because being a fat burner, it makes you more efficient in your workouts. And so think of that. So your pre-workout nutrition is going to be huge, because if you eat a really sloppy meal, you're going to have a really shitty workout because you're just going to be sluggish. And that's just no fun, because now you're just trying to catch up and maintain right where you were. And so you don't want to have that heavy stomach when you're going into a workout, at least with the running and endurance exercises. And then the next one would be stretching, right? And so before your workouts, stretching, a lot of people, especially when we were kids back in the 90s, at least for me, I was a 90s baby, right? Well, I was born in the 80s, but, elementary school in the 90s, right? They did everything wrong. Now that I think about it, right? We were doing a lot of static stretching. So stretching where you're holding, right? Where you go down, touch your toes, move to one leg, move to the next leg, pull an arm back here, and such, right? So that static stretching is not very good for the muscle tissue as far as the elasticity of it before workout, right? Because that's when a lot of injuries occur at that point, because their fascia is so tight and so wound up, most likely because we haven't been moving much. And it's kind of like coconut oil, right? So when coconut oil gets cold, it hardens up and solidifies, right? But when it gets warm, it liquefies. And so that's how your fascia through your whole entire body mimics as well. So if you've been sitting around at a desk and you're really tight and hard, and you kind of stretch and you want to feel that, that's kind of how coconut oil is, right? It's really tough and it's hard, but when you warm it up, it starts to get a nice and loose and liquefy, and you can feel all the muscle fibers and fascia that's stretching, because muscle fibers themselves, they don't actually shorten. It's the fascia that surrounds the muscle fibers that actually shortens it. So you can break that up and you can get a lot of elasticity back into that. But dynamic stretching is the most important type of stretching before workout. Dynamic stretching, the easiest way, you can Google it or you can YouTube it, but it's just like stretching with movement. So lunges and repetitive movements, right? Where you're working a muscle or a joint and it's actual motion, right? So a lot more mobility exercises, mobility training, that is going to help. So I do lots of leg swings, a lot to do hip rotations and openers before I go running. When it comes to my calves, I'll do a little bit of movement. But I also use this sometimes before my workouts. It's just a foam roller, right? This is my Hyperice. For those of you that have never heard of Hyperice, these are the baddest ass foam rollers in the world. It's got a vibration mechanism in it, which is going to stimulate that muscle fiber, increase some blood circulation to that area. And so don't static stretch, but my pre-game runs and endurance, that's going to be that dynamic stretching that I'm going to prepare myself for, as far as getting my hips really loose before I get into my workout, just so I can have a good longer stride and I'm not real stiff right there through the pelvis. Then after that, right, you're going for your run, and then that post-workout, right? So what are you taking within your post-workout, right? Are you consuming protein within the 30 minutes after that? Are you taking any aminos, ketones? Are you taking any type of food within an hour and a half? So that 90-minute window where you can hit that anabolic threshold there. And so when you're thinking about like what you're going to be eating after your workouts, what's up, Marta? We need to talk, right? We need to get down in that performance center room and we need to have some conversations, because that was some fun days. But anyways, that post-workout, right? So that 90-minute window of time where you really want to be able to consume some food, just so you can refuel your body back up, refuel those muscle bellies back up. Super important, right? Getting some type of protein in, of course, just so you can revitalize that tissue as well. Potassium's great, although bananas can be high in sugar depending on what type of diet you're on. If you're on a ketone diet, it's probably not going to be the best for you. I still eat bananas. I don't care. I'm one of those people where I feel like no matter what I consume, I can get really good results anyway. So Maybe I have an advantage on that point, but that's just how I feel. So, a lot of people have a bad effects to certain foods and stuff. And so knowing what works for you and how to fuel your body to make sure that you're not cramping up, you're taking some supplements of some sort that are obviously going to fuel and replenish the tissue that you need to recover from all those workouts, right? And so that post nutrition is going to be super, super important. So think of that, right? Because if you're going and exercising and you're tearing down your muscle fibers, because you don't get stronger during your workouts, you get stronger after your workouts. And so when you're resting and you're sleeping and you're done training, that's when you're going to get the best results from your workout. And then tools, right? Recovery tools. So I've got this. This is my scraper. This is called the Leopard Claw. And so what this does is breaks down fascia and the capillaries on the tissue. And so this will help me recover, right? When I have a really tight area on my quads, on my calves, on my forearms, I can do some scraping. I can push through that tissue a little bit more. And again, we're going to be safe with this. I'm trained with this as well. And so I feel that what I'm doing with this has benefited me a lot as far as increasing circulation to a specific area. So this is really positive benefits. Don't just go buy something and start beating the shit out of your body, because that could definitely harm you. So talk to somebody, find a massage therapist, find a physical therapist or somebody that is trained with using one of these, so they know exactly what you're doing, because you may be trying to fix an area that isn't actually the issue, right? Because there's dysfunctions and then there's symptoms, right? So if I have a dysfunction, that's going to create a symptom in an opposing area. And most people think like, oh, I have back pain, my back muscles must be bad. No, you probably have weak abs and you probably have tight hip flexors. So those opposing muscles that are within the muscle of your stomach, right? That is the opposing area of your back. So those aren't strong and supportive, or they're too tight in the hip flexors that are pulling on the vertebrae in your lumbar spine, which is causing you to have all that back tension, because it's just pulling on those vertebrae. Your back's really weak at that point. And so whenever I hear people talk about, oh, I've got a bad back, bullshit. You probably sit a lot. You probably don't do anything as far as ab exercises go. You need to get in the gym. You need to train. You need to strengthen your glutes. You need to strengthen your pelvis. Those are things that you need to do. So I'm not a big believer when someone tells me that they have back issues. I just think that they have a lot of dysfunctions in other area of their bodies, which is causing back issues. And if you fix those dysfunctions and treat the dysfunction, the symptom will subside. Now, using tools like this, using a foam roller and stuff, now these are going to be preventable recovery tools, right? So when you're exercising and you're training, those are going to be the tools that you're going to want to use to be able to recover better from your workouts. And now a symptom, say like your hips are getting tight or your back's getting sore. Now that is something like we were just talking about with the dysfunction. That's because of a long-term dysfunction. A symptom just doesn't appear, right? If you get hit by a car, now you're hurt like instantly, right? But if you have like knee pain, if you have hip pain, if you have back pain, if you're starting to experience shoulder pain, especially right here on the front end, right? And you've got a lot of dysfunction either here or up in your back shoulder here, or you're tied up in your pec because you have a lot of medial rotation in that shoulder, those symptoms are just from long-term dysfunction. And so, be aware that, if you have an injury somewhere, it probably is not from where it started, right? If you think that it's here on your shoulders, it's most likely coming from somewhere else, right? If it's in your elbows, it's most likely coming from your triceps or somewhere behind there, right? And so you have a weak area, which is causing you to overwork another area, which is then creating a symptom. And so think of that. Don't think that you're just injured all of a sudden, your knee just started hurting. Bullshit. You either have pronation in your foot, you've already got a hip dysfunction that's causing some rotation to put a little bit of more stress on that knee. And then eventually, over maybe 6 months or a year, now your knee's starting to hurt. All right, but let's move on from that, because injuries, we could talk about that stuff all day long. I love talking about injuries. I love talking about dysfunctions. I love looking at people walking, because I could sit outside a store like Costco or like Target when I'm waiting for my wife as she goes in there, and I just watch people walk out of the store. And I'm just like, my mind goes straight to like what a skeleton looks like. So if I had a poster of a skeleton in like the anatomical position, and then I'm watching somebody walk, and I'm just like, oh my God, like I know exactly what's wrong with you. I know exactly what to do to you. Like I need to get you on my table. I need to work on you, because you got some issues that need to be fixed. And people always got canes and foot braces and all sorts of weird shit that they just bought from the store that They don't need it all. They just need to fix their dysfunction so they stop having those symptoms. But anyways, sorry, I'm just getting wrapped up in that again. So moving on from nutrition and recovery and stuff like that is one of the biggest ones, right? Where I was just talking about when it comes to recovery, where you're getting strong, is quality sleep. Now, quality sleep is incredibly important because that allows your body to get in a fully rested state so your muscle tissue can start recovering, right? So your body's going to start absorbing everything. Your body is going to be able to relax because when you're asleep, you're fully relaxed, right? If I'm sitting in this chair, my back's working, my hips are tight, I'm in a really bad position to get myself comfortable, and I'm not really fully relaxed because I'm having to hold myself up, having to hold my head up. And so being able to get good quality sleep is going to definitely benefit you, right? Because if you have 4 hours of sleep, you're going to feel a lot shittier on your workout the next day than if you had 8 hours of sleep. Then you'd feel really great on your workout the next day. That's been my goal for May, is to get better sleep. I was doing really, really good for like the first 10 days, and like the last like 7 days have not been so great because got lots of tasks and different things that I'm doing for business and stuff, and took on a couple more clients. I took on 3 clients this week. Some new ones that we're getting prepared, from podcasting to launching businesses to MLM launches and funnels and stuff like that. So just super exciting. So sleep, incredibly important. You need your sleep. You need your sleep. So if you think that you are one of those special individuals that can function on 4 to 5 hours of sleep, do your research. You just absolutely cannot function properly or in a healthy state. Your body can't recover. You're not going to gain muscle very well. You're going to have just your systems, your chemical imbalance of your body is going to be off. I mean, we could get really deep into your cortisol levels and everything, but everything is going to be just, your systems are going to be off. And so you don't want to deal with that here. And then another one we got is just like active recovery, right? Are you walking? Are you doing any type of movement just to get that blood circulating, to work yourself down from that workout? Are you doing active recovery the following days just so that you can, because a lot of people get lactic acid buildup, right? They'll have other issues and they'll get really tight the next day from their exercises or overtraining of some sort. Like what type of training are you doing the following day or later that day that's going to allow you to just improve that circulation? Because when it comes down to it, the human body, all about circulation. When it comes from these recovery tools, a foam roller, a scraper, cupping, stretching, movement, all of that stuff is improving circulation. If we have better circulation through our body, we're able to transport nutrition through the tissue at a much better rate so that those areas of the body can repair, because protein repairs everything, your ligaments, your tendons, your muscle tissues, etc. And so you want to be able to fuel those muscles. You want to be able to fuel everything else in your body and just have a good ecosystem, right? Because that's really what this is. That's what this vessel of our body is just an ecosystem for us to be able to, oh smokes, I almost been talking for 20 minutes. Just for us to be able to function really properly, right? Like this is a beautiful system that we have, and so you got to take care of that. And then stress levels, right? Keeping your stress levels down. That is incredibly important. These are all the things I've just been talking about. These are all the things that I've implemented in the last 3 weeks that have been huge to my success. I've been training for 3 weeks. I'm about to go run 13 miles on Saturday, right? People train for months just to run 13 miles. But the biggest thing out of all of these, from stress, from stretching, nutrition, everything, my mental state. So my mental state is probably stronger than anything else, probably stronger than my body itself. And so no matter what, I'm not going to quit. What's up, David? I'm going to be able to push through that. I'm going to be able to excel at whatever it is I'm doing, because I know in my mind what my body's capable of. I know that I'm not going to quit. I know that I'm going to get sore and I'm going to get tight in certain places. My hips are probably going to get tight at about like 7, 8 miles, most likely. And so, but that's the expected. I'm mentally prepared for that. I'm mentally trained for that. And then as I'm going through my workout, like, I've been training for years. I've been training for over 20 years now, from when I got my first gym pass and my dad was taking me to the gym. I have been in the gym for so much. And the one thing I love about going to the gym and working out is the pump. The pump, when a muscle starts to get full of blood, the muscle starts to get activated. And then just like Arnold said, right, the pump is like the best part of exercise. And when I start feeling that pump in my legs, my quads, my glutes, my calves, and my body's in full motion, right? It probably takes me at least 2 to 3 miles to get really comfortable with my run. And then once I hit that 3 mile mark, I just feel like I fucking fly. Like I feel like my speed is increased. I'll go from like a comfortable like 9.5 minute mile. I could drop down to like 8:15 at that point, just because I'm feeling good. Things are circulating, things are warm up, and I am just moving at that point. So think about all those things that I just covered. For those of you that just jumped on, I went over pushing through the barriers, workout nutrition, stretching, recovery, post-workout, sleep, active recovery, and stress levels, right? So we want to keep those stress levels down in our life, because that is huge as well. Because the stress levels, like we're talking about with sleep, are just going to change that chemical imbalance in our body. And when we're imbalanced, we're not going to be functioning well. We're not going to be thinking well. And so we need to take care of our minds. Our minds are incredibly important. People do not think about mind training, right? Jennifer Golick, one of my friends, she has a great group called Redesign Your Mind. So if you need some help mental training, go to Redesign Your Mind, and she can give you some great tips and pointers in anything in life, right? Whether it's for business, whether it's for just health and nutrition, just anything in your life that you may have stresses or just really can't figure out. Jennifer Golick with Redesign Your Mind, she has a great group where she gives good advice about that. And so you guys just think about that, like 3 weeks of training. I'm about to run a half marathon. I don't give a shit. Like there's nothing that's going to be stopping me unless, I don't know, unless something just like a freak accident happens or something like that. But, we're not wishing for that. We're not thinking about that. We're thinking about Saturday morning, waking up at 4 a.m., getting out there, taking the bus to the starting line, and then I'm going to be running down the Boise River all the way back to the finish line. So I'm super excited. I'm super pumped. But you guys, the mental side of this has probably been my biggest success, right? That is the thing that's being able to separate me from being able, from starting out to where I am now. Because so many people want to have that mind block of I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. Yes, you can, right? Running a half marathon, 2 hours. That's it, 2 hours. I'm going to run from 7 a.m. till 9. That's it. And then I got the rest of the day. It's not like this is like, holy shit, the whole day is going to take over the whole day and then I'm not going to be able to move. No, I'm going to just go about my day as usual after it. We've got another half marathon signed up. My goal is to do a marathon in January. Now, come in August-ish, probably August, I'll do a lot more specific training and I'll be a lot more prepared for this. But right now, these half marathons, these are just for fun. It's just for me to get out. It's just for me to just experience some cool stuff and just have a little bit of fun. But you guys, thanks for tuning in. If you have any nutrition questions, if you have any stretching questions, whatever it may be, let me know. And if you're watching this on the replay, let me know down below that you're watching this on the replay. If you have any questions also, just please comment below. I'd love to help you. I'm wearing the Hoka Ona Onas for my shoes. I'll be using Under Armour shorts. And yeah, I'll just be wearing a nice little light jacket because it's supposed to be pretty cold in the morning. I'm going to have a hand water bottle, a little hand water bottle that's 8 ounces on my hand. There is aid stations every 2 miles. So it's like there's no way I could fail at this because aid stations every 2 miles. I've got food, I've got fuel, I've got electrolytes every 2 miles if I need. I don't even need to bring my own water bottle. Because if you can't run 2 miles without taking a drink, I'm not sure what you're doing, right? But that's all you need. But you guys have a wonderful night. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll be back with some more stuff about this fitness stuff. I'll be finishing up the May 100 here coming up in the coming weeks. My wife is going to be gone for 6 days, which means I have 6 days that I cannot run. And the reason is because I got 3 kids, and it's just not going to work out with me getting any miles in while I'm staying at home while watching them. So I'm going to have a 6-day period where I'm going to have to cover 30 miles. And so wish me luck, but we'll talk soon. Bye.